Next, what do we do, and how do we use the power of hip hop that we've seen through the years live and grow, and now we're at a place to where the music of hip hop may be weird and in a funny direction, but the culture of hip hop is solid, and that's what we're going to show you today. And I'm just ecstatic to be here with everybody, so I want to thank everybody again. Can just give everybody a round of applause for being here. I'm going to introduce our moderator in a moment. Again, everybody come in, have a seat. We got plenty of seats. There's a $25 donation. If you don't have tickets or want on a VIP, there's somebody out front that can take care of you when you leave out of here, because the work has to continue to go on. So support the process, support the mission, support everything that we got going on. Again, we've got some great people here. I want to thank, let me go down the list and just thank Hip Hop TV first. This evening, I think many of you are going to be at Platinum Studios with Mr. Jerry Wonder and his all-star band for the Platinum Studio Live event this evening at 9 o'clock. So we leave out of here, we go over there and we jam. You know, we've got some living legends in the house, Miss Vicky D, Miss Roxanne Shante, Mr. Glenn Toby, and the Jesse Jackson Jr. in the house. So please salute Mr. Jr. for his journey and being here with us, representing hip-hop today and all days. You know, he knows he's a citizen of hip-hop. Bring it home. Bring it home. What else do I need to tell you? I just need to tell you we're going to have a great time today. So again, we have a two-part panel. We've got a little bit of time to talk. Let's get it talking. Let's have a conversation. Let's focus on solutions. Can everybody just say solutions for me? Solutions, okay? Because we got a lot of talking and talk about a lot of what we did, what we could do, the flyness, but it's about business. We are at war. Right now. We are at war, and there's no time to play any games with anything. Every penny that we have is our weapon of mass destruction. Every penny that we have is our weapon of mass destruction. So what we do with our money and how we vote in every election, not presidential elections, but local elections, because who we put into office are the people that are going to speak for us. They're the people that are going to go to the White House and lobby for us. So if we don't know who our local elected official is, it doesn't matter who the president is at the end of the day, because the local level officials, the ones that's going to go and represent us on that level. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to your moderator for today, Miss Crystal Berger of Fox News Radio. Thank you.
So I am a child of hip hop, right? And so to get that hip hop energy and keep it going like Janine just did, I know y'all know about call and response, right? Yeah. So when I say, hey, yo,
alright.
So just talking about that experience, I remember my first time hearing LL Cool J, and I'm alone in my room, sometimes there at the wall, and I fell in love, right? I was in my cousin's house, it was a little bit, I'm a little too young to listen to what I was not supposed to be listening to. But what I wanted to start with everyone today was just like how you fell in love with the culture of hip hop. How did hip hop touch you? So anybody want to go first? Roxanne, Sean, say some things. Roxanne.
And she told me just when I was trying to start my I was hoping somebody else would go first. So, excuse me.
As Roxanne
I remember
Shante.
the first time I fell in love with hip hop, I didn't necessarily even know that it was hip hop because it was not called hip hop at that time. It was just the fact of listening to some really good R&B that had such a great groove to it that they would actually have lyrics that rhymed. And I was saying, you know what, I can do that. I like that. Also being exposed to what they call the Nipsey Russell syndrome, being able to rhyme anything off the top of your head at any time. And I would say that was the first time I truly fell in love with hip hop before I even knew it was hip hop.
So ladies first, Nikki.
I had to fall in love with hip hop probably around the same time you did. I started when I was out in Los Angeles. I'm born and raised here on the East Coast of New Jersey, but I moved out to LA at 8. Now then is when I actually got put on to hip hop, working with Ice, who nobody knew back then had his own independent label way before independence was NYC and Rosentown and, you know, African Barbada, Soul Sonic Force, and just get into it, and hearing LL on the radio, hearing Beastie Boys on the radio, and saying to myself, I need to be down with them. And that's when I went on my mission to be the first female rapper signed to Def Jam, and I just fell absolutely in love with it because it just spoke to me, and I just went for it.
Okay.
For me, I would say the first song would be definitely Planet Rock from Africa about it and Soul Sonic Force, but definitely Run DMC was the group that took it to the next level for me. Those were the guys I looked to and I was like, yeah, I want to be like that. And so the culture, obviously, you know, there's so many people, and I don't want to just name other people like rappers. You know, there's people like Crazy Legs from the Rocksteady crew, and you know, breakdancers, b-boys, graffiti artists as well. And so it was really the whole culture, the DJs, Jam Master Jay, and so many others who were representative of the culture of hip hop, which was the biggest part that I saw growing up in Delaware, which is where I was from originally. So we got different pieces. It wasn't like experiences for us.
Same thing for me growing up in Baltimore. It's like you wanted to be in New York when you saw Crush Rude, right? It's like, oh my God, I wish I could get there. And so we'll talk about the culture of it and the things about it that we fell in love with as well. So Adrian, tell me about how you fell in love with hip hop.
So I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and as a kid I would go to the Point, and there would be cyphers there, folks were breakdancing, and the community around hip hop and hip hop culture in Chicago, which is something that I definitely latched onto and really admired and appreciated. And it kept kids like us together, being artistic and creative and off the streets, as opposed to, you know, getting into the wrong kind of trouble outside of sort of that community space that hip hop created. So.
Yeah, I was one of the pioneers in Queens with Disco Twins, Cypher Sands, back in those days, the Furtado Brothers, Preem, those guys. So,
Yes, Preem.
I know, Roxanne, you know, we have families.
Absolutely.
Back in those days, Fisher. So for me, I always saw hip hop as a system. Actually, I didn't find hip hop. Hip hop found me. I heard this music.
Beautiful.
I heard this rhythm. I heard this force, this power. I smelled it the same way people smell slinging drugs on the corner or going to Wall Street. I knew that there was something behind that door. So I was in the mixtape days, so they didn't even have records. There was no record deal. This is before Curtis got a record deal. This is when our neighbor, you know, Russell was running around promoting parties and things like that. So I listened to that mixtape and I saw it flashing and we're going. And I said, how come Queens is not in this system? What is the system that puts these guys ahead of us?
Right.
And my name was Sweetie G from back in the day. I was
So I'm trying to fulfill it.
So for me, I looked at the system of hip hop, not just the artist.
Absolutely.
I guess I'm gonna tell my age here. I mean, I'm 51, so I remember Gil Scott Heron and the Last Poets. Yeah. And Curtis Blow. Used to kick it with him when I was, 10, 15 years old. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and these guys were delivering, a real message. They weren't the only ones rapping. Jesse Jackson was rapping, He ain't had no music, couldn't hold no tune. But, he was the one walking around talking about popping pills just for thrills, not paying bills, redefining manhood in our high schools before, that which was acceptable, developed rhythm and lyrics. This is before people got albums and record deals, when it was like really hard. And you had to communicate with people who didn't have the best educational opportunities growing up in the neighborhood and the streets were talking. And so, it manifested itself in terms of a lot of unsung heroes who, paid a very, very heavy price. And it evolved into a genre that, is culturally acceptable, that has, crossover appeal, that generates income. One of course, its greatest challenges is that, where it started was a way to communicate with people and discuss social responsibility. Where it is now, is a whole nother deep kind of thing that sometimes functions without social responsibility. And when those who are challenged to be more socially responsible for the platform that God has given them to communicate, you know, you would want and hope that they have the information to communicate in rhythm, rhyme, and song, and in culture, you know, that which motivates and moves our people to participation in something that changes, you know, that changes the quality of life for all of our people. And so, yeah, I have always loved it. I've always appreciated it. I was profoundly hurt, like most of us in here were, when it denigrated into a level of unprecedented East-West violence. And then we saw it, you know, emerge as a culturally acceptable medium, as a crossover medium. But then, you know, we also watched those of us who've been even more and more blessed lose, you know, a sense of the social responsibility and accountability that comes with, you know, who we are and what we're about and what we do with our platforms.
Definitely, and I'm glad you put that up, and that's a good place to transition to as far as the social responsibility, because I remember being young and listening to Queen Latifah and Ladies First, right? And I felt really empowered about being the woman that I was growing up to be. And so we look at today's hip-hop and we look at what you all have done in the industry. How do we bridge that gap between the social responsibility that we have as artists or entrepreneurs and actually influence the younger generation? As far as our responsibility, anybody can chime in. I don't want to call it.
Yeah, I'd say everybody keeps saying what can the artists do. The parents are the filter. So if you look at the generations before in our community, parents didn't, and the children didn't even like it. Because there was a teaching that needed to be done. There was a transfer of power from generations before. So it's really difficult. It's not just so much what the artists are making for adults, but if the filter is not processed properly. These kids are hearing all kinds of things. So we have to govern inside our houses, be responsible for our own children the same way they came out of our bodies.
Absolutely.
And not expect radio or anybody else that's built in the culture to be responsible.
Absolutely.
I think you also have to just be, you know, where are you in the game? You know, are you someone that's able to make decisions or hold people accountable to what they're playing on the radio? Or, you know, I have a 13-year-old, and she is very, I mean, I govern all day, you know what I mean? And yet still every now and then she'll know the words to a song that I know fact that I don't play, you know what I mean? So I think that for us, we have to also hold people accountable to what they are doing, and is this music serving our community and our children? And I mean, I have a website, and All Hip Hop has a few million people per month, and you know, we operate with responsibly. What I consider responsibly. It's not perfect because hip hop's not perfect, but it is, I think, in the best interest of the community. And if nothing else, it's definitely balanced. You know what I mean? And I think that this is what we have to do if we're going to really be committed to making things different. We have to not only infiltrate other systems, but create our own and keep them in our community.
I agree with everything everybody said thus far. A lot of the transition where the communication got lost in transition is basically, I believe, from the major labels being kind of like knocked down by the independent labels, and all these cats come in from wherever they came from, which is great actually, so I'm not knocking the independents. However, there's a lot of information that was lost in between. And we lost a lot of leaders in general in our communities. Like, we don't have leaders anymore. These kids don't have any place to go. There's nothing for them to do. So when they latch on to something such as hip hop, and they find that to be their parent, which is the wrong thing, then their parents are losing focus, and their parents want to hang out with their kids, and smoke weed with their kids, and club with their kids. The mother wants to be Beyonce.